Irn-Bru is one of Scotland's biggest exports and was officially brought to life in 1901, although many sources think it was actually way before this, in the tail end of the 1800s. One of the biggest achievements of Irn-Bru is the fact that in Scotland alone, it is the only drink that outsells Coca-Cola in the entire world. Irn-Bru is best known for its orange colour and is often joked that it contains girders, but of course, we cannot legally disprove or prove that. We don't know. It has a long history of quite outlandish and controversial marketing campaigns, including such lines as "nothing better than Irn-Bru when you've just been laid," which, was spoken by a chick. "Cheer up, goth," which was attacked for hate speech and bullying, and a woman holding a can in a bikini who stated, "I never knew 4.5 inches could give so much pleasure." No, I'm not joking, they actually all appeared on billboards all across the UK. Some of the much loved adverts in the line of the Irn-Bru Gets You Through campaign is the Fanny advert.
"I want to call her Fanny."
"We can't call her Fanny."
"My mum's a Fanny. Granny was a Fanny. She'll be joining a long line of Fannies."
The mum and son.
"New push-up bra. Amazing, eh?"
"Looking good, Mum."
Oh, come here, you. Group hug?
And new boyfriend, which, is just my personal fave.
"Dad, this is my new boyfriend, Jeff."
"Nice to meet you, Mrs. McGee."
"Hey, you two, son." "So, any plans?"
"Just gonna take Wembley here for a walk."
He's a cheeky wee fella, eh?
So Irn-Bru sounds pretty great, doesn't it? A great big statement to the corporate systems that run this country. What could be the problem? What, I ask?
Standout announcement was the Chancellor announcing a levy on companies that produce sugary, fizzy drinks.
The Chancellor's surprise announcement got cheers from seasoned campaigners.
Shocked, surprised, been working on this for a long time.
Needs no introduction. He is, of course, Jamie Oliver. There he is, just outside the Houses of Parliament.
It's Irn-Bru, and it's changed.
There's been a lot of controversy surrounding Irn-Bru's new reduced sugar recipe.
But the amount of sugar in Irn-Bru is about to be halved, and not everyone is happy.
Everybody's got absolutely mental, man, and stoking up in brew, man. No, we don't like it. Irn-Bru, man, the mattress, man.
Well, everybody's opinion seems to be this.
Tories have f***ed us in Scotland. They have shat all over our national fabric.
Well, that's not strictly true. See, the sugar tax, or officially known as the Soft Drinks Industry Levy, was announced by the UK government in the 2016 budget to come into effect in 2018. The tax at a basic level will tax any drinks with a total sugar content above 5 grams per 100 millilitres at a rate of 18p per litre, and any drinks above 8 grams per 100 millilitres at 24p a litre. This would have meant that Irn-Bru fell into the latter category, and as a result, a can of Irn-Bru would be expected to increase by 7.92p. That's 8p a can. The Scottish Government not only support the tax, but actually encourage an expansion on these plans for Scotland, with plans to limit multi-pack offers or discounts on sweets and crisps, and even considering limiting portion limits on takeaways and restaurants. Why is this a problem? Well, we'll get to that in a minute. It's no surprise that the tax was designed to combat ever-increasing demands on the NHS and health services, with dentists, doctors and Jamie Olivers all yelling from the rooftops that the system was unsustainable. A sugar tax would mean that the money pumped back into the government could then, in theory, be spent on healthcare resources, combating the ever-increasing costs of treating diabetes and obesity-related illnesses, while simultaneously hitting the pockets of the consumer in an attempt to make them purchase less and, in turn, decreasing the risk of developing sugar-related illnesses. This all sounds great, doesn't it? Well, in Mexico, for example, a 10% tax was introduced in 2014. Sales actually increased in sugary drinks by 6.4% in 2014 and 7% in 2015. Economists specifically said that whilst the sugar tax worked initially for a few months, it was not going to do very much and not for long. This means that as a result, the costs for the consumer have just increased even more. Another point to raise is that there is no significant evidence that sugar taxes cut BMI, that's body mass index, or rates of obesity, diabetes, or heart disease, but there is evidence to show that the tax has not achieved the desired effects and public health gains in the countries that have implemented such a tax. It's probably also worth mentioning that it is of course a very recent phenomenon, and more time would of course be needed to study the effects in great detail or provide analysis. Yeah, I'm sure that's all very interesting and incredibly boring, but what the hell does that mean for Irn-Bru? Well, instead of passing the tax on to its consumers like the whole point of the tax was intended, Barr, the company that make Irn-Bru, decided to tell everyone that the majority of their customers have specifically shown that they want to drink less sugar, and as a result will be reducing the sugar content by over 50% to avoid the tax, as well as introducing the controversial sweetener and ingredient aspartame, which is consistently in the news due to its suspected but unconfirmed links to cancers and other diseases. Smooth move. On top of that, they have refused to provide any sort of research or data to prove that the vast majority of their customers want to drink less sugar, and the backlash on social media has been insane, with a petition just shy, as of February 2018, of 50,000 signatures, a social media team who probably hate their jobs, and enough angry Scots to fill their 2 factories in Cumbernauld and Milton Keynes 50 times over. Rather than just increase prices or take a hit on their profits, Irn-Bru have collapsed to the system, given into the machine, conformed with the rule makers, and just about single-handedly destroyed the carefully crafted brand and attitude that made it the success it was and the national treasure of Scotland. So, are people going crazy over nothing? Is this fully justified? Do you simply not care because you don't enjoy Irn-Bru that much? Or maybe you don't consume sugary drinks? Well, maybe you should think about it a little more if that's the case. There's a principle here, and I just ask you to ask yourself this. Is it fair that people who consume sugar, a dietary requirement in human beings responsibly, should have to pay a tax because of others' reckless habits when you might not even need the health service because of sugar? Is it fair that the consumer choice should slowly disappear as we all have our own choices and decisions made for us? Is it fair that Barr thinks so little of its loyal customers that they think they can ignore the collective voices and they think they're bigger than their own consumers? Is it fair that we start taxing salt, sugar, high-fat content products, e-numbers, chemical additives, bacon and other red meats, and other unhealthy items individually, when we already pay taxes for health services? Is it fair that we should start taxing ovens and appliances maybe, because they might overheat if used inappropriately and cause fires, and that might put a strain on the fire service? Or maybe a car crash tax because of the costs of ever-increased road traffic accidents? Is it fair that ultimately hundreds of thousands of people lose out on something they enjoy because a select section of society consume it excessively? Isn't excessive consumption always dangerous? And is it fair that because the government have failed to educate us properly or correctly, or allocate funds to the health service properly, that we pay for that instead now? I can't answer those questions for you, but it is definitely worth thinking about the bigger picture of what the tax means and what Irn-Bru have done here. Anyway, I know this is totally different from what I usually do, but I thought I'd chuck it out there anyway as a one-off, and maybe I'll do some more of these kind of things in the future if you like it. Thanks for watching, and please feel free to hit subscribe, share around the video, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Cheers! Oh, by the way, yeah, no, I had to try it, didn't I? Ah, it can't be that bad. Jump right in and give it a go. No, that's pretty good. It's very sugary, actually. Yeah, it's very sugary. It's got that great Irn-Bru taste. It just takes... No, it's the original. My bad.